pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for being here. Our board has adopted policy and procedure 1400, meeting conduct, order of business, and quorum, which are available on the district website. This policy ensures that all meetings are conducted in a civil, orderly, and business-like manner. Whether you're a board member, staff, student, or guest, we all follow the same standards of civility during these meetings. Starting July 1st, 2024, all regular board meetings are audio and video recorded and available on the district website in compliance with RCW 4237. These recordings, which include board comments and public testimony, will be kept for at least 1 year. Public comment is required at regular meetings when final action is taken. We value public participation, and each regular board meeting includes a public comment period as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. Comments can be made verbally or in writing. Written comments must be submitted at least 24 hours before the meeting and must follow the board standards of civility. Public comment is limited to 30 minutes with each speaker allotted 3 minutes. You cannot donate time to other speakers or speak more than once per meeting, even if time remains. This period is for the board to listen, not to engage in dialogue. The board will not respond to comments, questions, or challenges during the comment period, and silence should not be interpreted as agreement or disagreement. However, the board chair may ask for clarifications, and district staff may follow up with individuals after the meeting. Please be mindful of the impact of your words. Each speaker is responsible for their own statements, not the district. Certain remarks could violate privacy laws or be considered defamatory. If you are unsure about the legal implications of your comments, we recommend seeking legal advice. In closing, we ask that everyone help us model for our students what a respectful and inclusive community looks and sounds like. Thank you for being here and your contributions. Okay. First thing is we need a motion for approval of the regular school board meeting minutes for Thursday, December 18th, 2025. Oh,
I wasn't here in December either.
I'll make a motion.
okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We also need a motion for approval of the special school board meeting minutes for Tuesday, January 6th, 2026.
Also moved.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, are there any public comments on agenda items? No. Okay. Next is approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Okay. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Kara, would you like to give us a big financial report?
Good evening. Very quick and it's absolutely correct. Remember? I'm going to give you a second. Oh. Yes. Okay. Let's start with taking a look at enrollment trends. This is a picture of your enrollment year to date through January. Your budgeted enrollment is in the first column, and that was 460 for this year. And then each of the months builds this trend line. We are looking at 2,560 here. And the January enrollment was 502.65. And so you can see sort of it is aligned with the trends from all the 3 prior years that are also shown. And
Kara,
then
does that include TK?
yes.
Okay.
And then the average is 503.03. And so that's shown here on the far right. So as the enrollment changes, the average changes as well, and so that's reflected here. So as you can see, your enrollment is coming in well above what was budgeted. And January is the month in which OSPI begins calculating apportionment based on actual enrollment instead of budgeted. When they do that, we affectionately refer to that as the January adjustment. And in your case, it's going to be additional revenue because your actual is more than what was budgeted. So that is great, and we will take a look at that, what that means financially next month during the January report. And then the budget status report is for year-to-date through December. That's the most recent closed month. I know you guys have seen this budget status report a few times. So for the general fund, we're looking at the general fund first. This is year-to-date through December. The actual year-to-date through December for the last year is shown in the first column with this kind of light fill. Just as a basis so that you have something to look at for how you were doing last year compared to this year. This year is in all of these columns here, the 25-26 fiscal year, starting with your budget, and then your actual through December 31st of 2025 is right here. And then what your remaining budget is next, and then the percentage of budget received so far. So through December, you have received about 3.5 of your revenue. There's a few pieces of revenue that are looking a little bit low, and those are specifically in claims for grant claims and in especially in federal grants, which are claimed in arrears. And that means that there's always going to be expenses that don't have the revenue yet. And so we made some claims in January to bring that up, so you'll see that adjusted next month. And then expenditures are the next group. Right now you are sitting at about 4.157 in expenses. And there's additional information in expenses because you have POs. So there's open POs in this column, and then you have an additional percentage of your budget used with POs and without POs, so that you can kind of have all of that data to look at. The net result is your revenues over or under total expenditures. And at this point in the year, you've expended more than what you've received. But again, a lot of that is due to grant claims that are in arrears and the cyclical nature of how you receive your revenue. The fund balance at the end of December is sitting at 1.758, of which 1.063 is sitting in your unassigned fund balance. That's the portion of fund balance that is not set aside for your minimums and any other commitments or restrictions. Thank you. Then the next fund is your capital projects fund. These other funds, there's a lot less going on in them, so they don't take as much time to explain, but the structure is set up the same way. In the capital projects fund, the net budget, or the net to date is an increase of $753,000. So the current fund balance is sitting at 2.849. The next fund is your ASB fund. ASB fund is a deficit of about $572. So the fund balance is sitting at about $85,000. And in the transportation vehicle fund, the net increase is $10,500, and so the fund balance is sitting at $796,000. Can I answer any questions about the other funds? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I will switch it back to the agenda. Thank you. Thank you.
And that's 96 in the transportation, that's going to buses.
Two buses. Two buses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Carrie, do you have Jordan's?
I will be Jordan.
So the school students representative report. In the school for Martin Luther King Day, we did assignments and readings during advisory. Science collected bees and mailed them off for who wanted them. Farm to School has been teaching students about making bouquets while also harvesting, making food, and planting. Spanish has just finished their basic conversation. Doesn't mean they just had a basic conversation that day. They built up to being able to have basic conversations.
Yes.
Robotics has been making a huge height of robots that are successful.
Are we shooting rockets?
A robotics teacher?
There, I guess, maybe they came in when we were building something kind of tall, I don't know.
Was the intent to see how tall the robotics can be?
I'm trying to think, they
What
did,
this meant?
maybe they're talking about, yeah, they had to build lunar rovers that could have a certain amount of ground clearance.
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
Okay.
I'm glad you were here.
Yeah.
End of first semester is today and was a half day, and then tomorrow there is a no student day while teachers have professional development and high school teachers prepare for second semester, plus complete all grades for first semester. Sports, boys basketball are having a good season, 4-12. I don't know when this was written, so I'm not sure the current. But girls, I know, so I have it, are 15.
15 and 4 still?
Let me get it, let's be accurate here, let's see.
I don't think we've lost one since then.
13-5, girls are 13-5 as of last night. They have a game tomorrow night and a game Saturday. And those games are really important because they will influence our placement in playoffs.
Our seeding.
Wrestling doesn't have any meet until February
Is that going
13th.
to be here, is that going to be somewhere? And will that be a home, that match, the wrestling match on the 13th, is that going to be home or is that going to be somewhere else?
I will find out in a second here. And then senior night for basketball and wrestling actually is tomorrow night at the home basketball game, which is also against Darrington. So it will be a big night.
A big deal.
Mhm. And it's JV boys, varsity boys and girls are all playing. Sorry. I'm looking it up, sorry.
Yeah, I can find out.
I'll tell you after the,
I can tell you it's not.
What's that?
I can tell you it's not.
it's not.
There's no wrestling matches at home.
Okay, all right, thanks. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and then Carrie, you're up.
Okay, so Lisa, can you click on the goal report?
Uh-huh.
Thank you. This is what we went over at the work session. Oh yeah, so we did this in the work session.
Do you not want it in here?
So Jennifer presented all the fun stuff that's happening at the elementary and then the high school, the events that are going on. Were there any questions from Tuesday? No?
No, these are goals, just for the general audience, these are goals that we've been talking about for the school year.
Mhm.
And it's increasing grade levels in different subjects and some attendance and graduation rates and such. And most of the trends have been up in the last
Yeah.
year or so.
Do you want the Libby one?
Yes, let's do the levy just real quick. So, thanks, Lisa.
Is it coming?
Sink in.
Let's close this one.
Could you do that, or just?
Is it not there?
You're certainly
Oh,
going
I
through it.
yeah, I mean, I could just burp, I know it, I could just say it, but
See,
it, just for the audience.
Downloading. Oh, it was downloading.
This is testing how well we do this assignment. All right, if you could just click on the slides on the side instead of
Okay.
going through the slideshow.
We did have Nathaniel in here earlier. Things were really slow. Okay.
All right, so we currently have on the ballot, which already went out, a 4-year educational programs and operations levy to replace the current levy, the current 2-year levy that expires December 2026. The reason we run levies is because basic education funding from the state does not fully fund the programs and services that we are expected to provide, nor that the community and families expect us to have for students. So in November 2025, the board approved a resolution to run this 4-year replacement EP&O levy, and February 10th is the due date to put ballots in. Just so everybody knows, the board can approve a levy anywhere from 1 to 4 years. We've done 3 years, the last one was 2 years, this one's 4, and it's to align with basically our requirement that we provide a 4-year budget to OSBI each year, so that when we're doing that 4th year budget, we know if we would have levy funds. It just helps with budgeting. Plus, every time you are in a special election for a levy, there are fees incurred by the district to run your levy. And right now, several school districts are running levies, and so that is diluted. Like, we pay less to run it, versus last time we ran it, the only other district was Mount Vernon, and so Mount Vernon and Concrete are splitting the cost of those voter
Although don't they,
the voter
they base it on, so ours
size.
was much
Yeah, ours was
lower
much smaller.
percentage than
Yes,
Mount
but it will be
Vernon's.
even smaller now.
Yeah, because
with
it's
all
what,
these
like
other
5
districts.
districts running things.
Yeah.
No.
The EP&O levies are basically, you can consider them enrichment funding. They support, these are some of the things they support: school nurse, student assistants, and mental health professionals, coaches, athletic and activity programs, special education services not funded. All this stuff is, well, most of these things are not funded. Okay, let me back up. Most of these things are the difference between basic ed and the cost. That's what levy funds, except for some things basic ed will not fund, and that includes extracurricular athletics and activities, if that makes sense. So a lapse in the levy that expires December 26th would be, we would have fewer staff and support for students, we'd have we wouldn't have extracurricular opportunities, and loss of local control over essential services, like mental health counseling for our students. So the proposal is for $1.38 per thousand tax assessed value. Assuming we can collect fully on that, and assuming all other factors are ideal for us, we could potentially collect $2.15 million in 2027, $2.25 in 2028, and you can see on down. We have never been able to collect what we actually,
Ask for
the
it.
ideal in any year. So this is the ideal and perfect, but it doesn't mean we're actually getting this. And then there's just some examples, sorry Lisa, go back one second.
Oh.
There's some examples of, because everybody says, well, how will this affect me, right? So if you have a property or house of at $300,000, it could be $414 a year, which is substantially less than the current levy rates on the tax bill, because right now we also have a capital projects levy, which we are not replacing. So the capital projects levy is currently $1.88 per thousand. That does expire December 2026 and will not be on the tax bill in 2027. We have a levy outreach, a levy committee. They do some work. The district must remain neutral with our information. So this is just how we're getting the word out, and we've added, since this, we've added 3 more forums. So next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night are all community forums. Monday is at the Upper Skagit Library, Tuesday is here, Thursday is at the Concrete Theater, Thursday is in Marble Mount. And yesterday I recorded on Skagit Talks, and it ran yesterday at 5:30, and it will run 3 more times this week. So, there you go. Any questions on the levy?
No, thank you, we've been going over, this is Thank you for getting the word out.
Just the certificates there.
Oh. And Ellie, are you here for this part, the school board recognition?
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just here to
Oh,
support.
you're just here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the union did some cards over on the table that you can grab after
Oh,
your meeting
okay.
tonight.
All right, so this is School Board Recognition Month. We're celebrating you this week. So on Tuesday, there were, so this is PTO, PSE,
USBA
USVEA, right, have all contributed.
and PSE.
And students, and I understand board members have been receiving some emails from students thanking you, right?
Nice.
So we recognize that you don't have to do this. You're not getting paid the big bucks, right? This is volunteer and dedication to the district. And on light months, it might be 2 nights a month. And on heavy months, it might be
A lot more than that.
a lot more than that. And so you all have jobs or lives beyond this, but I know I appreciate everything you do. I'm sure the audience does, and absolutely students, families, and the community. So, and these vote. Get your birth certificate.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then there's, afterwards there will be
Did you get
cards.
this right?
Oh, we didn't print the, was there a resolution from Chris Reichdahl?
That's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, and then, like I said, there's little gifts from for you. I'm gonna hand them out now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
These are the folks that do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, now we get to elect board officers. So we need a nomination for board chairman.
Nominate Laura
That was
I'm not sleeping on that one.
all right. Well, thank
Appreciate
you. All in favor?
What?
Or is going to be the
Oh,
board chair?
yes.
Okay,
I lost it there.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Guess I'm still board chair. Nomination for board vice chair. I would like to nominate Pam Snavely as board vice chair.
Your brother did a fine job.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, any discussion on that? Legislative rep. Mike, you have been, yeah, Mike, you've been doing a great
One
job.
more time.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Mike is the ledge rep. And the nomination for the WIAA representative.
Aye, Christie. Good job, Scott.
Christie Wood. I will nominate Christie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Christie is now the WIAA. Okay, no old business. Okay, new business. Approval of the revised 2025-26 school calendar, and this had to be revised because of
flooding.
flood days.
And so what it is it's using our 2 built-in snow days, it would become school days, and then turning the March conferences, parent-teacher conferences, just to half days, so that we can count it as a school day. That's it. That will make up enough time so we still meet our minimum instructional minutes.
And that still gives us one more snow day if we need it, or no?
Yeah, it gives us one more
In
cushion.
case we get the snow.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Do I have a motion for approval of the revised school calendar for 2025-26?
I make a motion.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And then Puget Sound Energy has generously donated $7,000 for flood relief. I have to accept that donation. Do I have a motion to accept that donation?
I'll move that we accept that donation.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. And then we need a motion for approval of the resolution to invest 1537.
Have a motion.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Is there any public comment on non-agenda items?
Yes. I would like to make,
Well, not, this isn't, not yet.
not yet.
No, this is where we want to move the future meetings.
You want to move it here to after the 14th?
Oh. You're right, sorry. You're right. Okay. So at this point, we are going to go into an executive session to review candidate application materials for the open District 4 board.
Oh, is that what this
It
is?
says District 4, that's what it says.
Okay.
So if everyone can leave the room,
Mhm.
and then we do have business to follow because we will interview those 4 candidates in open session, and then we will go into just executive session. So if everybody wants to vacate momentarily, and this should take 5 to 8 minutes, I would say,
Yeah.
at the most.
Just from the hall, I'll be back in, and Karen and Andy, you guys can leave.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Executive session.
Yep.
Michael, Mr. Holloway, that's me, Laura as well, and Superintendent Whitmore.
Great. And is camera on?
Yep.
Okay, okay.
All right, so Mike is going to ask the first question.
So we're going to ask the same questions to all 4 candidates, and this one is just a pretty general intro. Who first led you to the idea of joining the Concord School board, or what precipitated your?
Yeah, so I think the best way to answer that is to explain why I want to be on the board in the first place. Starting off, I grew up in a small town as well. And not as small as Concrete, mind you, but my 1A high school was the epicenter of our community, truly. And that's really important to me because, you know, from Friday night football games to the basketball and wrestling games to the band marching down the street in parades, you know, these are the things that truly bring a small community together. And these are things that I cherish, and I want to make sure that everyone else gets to cherish those going into the future. Stemming from my high school experience, you know, I was in cross country, I was in track, wrestling, I did knowledge bowl, I did robotics, if you say it, I probably did it in some capacity. But it was truly my robotics experience that led me to the engineering career that I have today, getting my degree at WSU, go Cougs, in material science and engineering, and working at PACCAR today. And so I want to ensure that the students have the opportunity to find what they're passionate about at the high school and lead them into long, fulfilling careers that they want to do, regardless of if that's, you know, going into the workforce, going into the trades, 2-year, 4-year, or even the military. These are all great options, and everyone needs to find what they're passionate about. And high school is one of the best places for that. Going into my engineering career at PACCAR Tech Center down in Mount Vernon, I do a lot of test and development work on software. I'm doing the same meticulous tasks every single day, getting a lot of data, looking at a lot of data, determining where issues are, finding the root cause of issues, and leading defect resolution process meetings where we have specific documents that control exactly how we do things, in what way we do things, where we have to get comments and everything from. And so I want to bring this analytical mindset to the board when it comes to policy issues that may impact what happens to the students, or even when it comes to budgetary issues, finding ways that we can make every single dollar count so that the students can succeed in their educational experiences. And I guess lastly, I'd say that my work starting a charity for teachers called Homeroom Heroes has really given me an opportunity to have a hand in shaping classrooms already. And I want to bring this experience that I have, you know, boots on the ground, and, you know, find ways that we can gap the bridge between policy decisions and the reality of the classroom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, So my question is, what do you see as the biggest challenge to public school today, and how would you address this as a board member?
Well, aside from cell phones, I think that going all the way up the ladder to the top branches of the government, there's a lot of cutting when it's coming to school funding lately. And I think that that is the biggest challenge because it impacts the ability of our students to learn. It impacts the ability for us to keep the school safe for them. And it impacts the ability for us to hire the best and brightest staff to help teach those students and give them the true opportunity that they want.
I have to read my question.
Yeah, no problem.
How would you ensure that as a school board director in a small district, you remain independent from administrative or staff influence and personal relationships while making decisions that are in the best interest of the district? And what principles guide you, and how would you hold yourself accountable when those decisions are very unpopular?
That's a great question, and it's really great because it's public knowledge. My wife is a paraeducator here at the school district, and so when it comes to matters directly dealing with bargaining agreements with the paraeducator portion of the union, I would appropriately recuse myself. But when it comes to more day-to-day policy, how are we doing things, keeping the school together, and even things that might impact how the classroom functions, I feel like I could appropriately, objectively judge decisions looking at truly how are we going to make the school better, not necessarily how am I going to make myself better.
Okay, yeah?
All right, what do you believe our school should be accomplishing?
Well, the goals that you guys had on the screen earlier were really great. I do think that we should increase the graduation rate. Getting math literacy up is a huge goal and a really great vision, including English, language, arts. I also, like I said earlier, I think that our school should be helping kids, prepare and decide what they want to do in the future. Like I said, there's a lot of options out there, and I feel that high school is the best place for them to find what they're passionate about. I found my passion in engineering through building robots, coding robots, and making robots throw frisbees into holes at colleges. Those were the kinds of things that I really drove into, my whole life and figuring out where I wanted to be.
Okay. And is there anything else that we should know about you or about your desire to be on the school board?
Actually, a year ago, I actually joined the HOA board for Cedar Grove over on the other side of the river, and I've actually been able to effectively bring some policy to actually help cut costs without cutting any of our services. One of the biggest things I did was I developed a website so that we can electronically deliver a lot more information to our owners so that we don't have to send 200 pieces of paper plus postage, and that really helps cut down our administrative costs. And I'm also looking at helping by creating an opt-in email list, but we're going to have to vote on that in our meeting in May. But that would just help us cut even more costs and fewer postage, direct interaction with our owners, and just helping the neighborhood be a better place. And I aim to bring that kind of focus to the school district as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
It's a
very
little
much.
chilly all day.
Yes, it is, I know. Before I grab the next one, I just want to tell all four of you, since you're here, that next, on February 10th, we're having a special board work session / training.
I was tempted to that for my first question. What's your mother's maiden name? What is it? Credit card number? That's a joke. Oh, I told jokes.
I think we're still recording though, right?
We are.
Okay, so that's the discussion.
Good job, Nick. We're doing it with her.
I'm not gonna stand in the hallway.
You're out.
Yeah, I'm out of here. Thanks for bringing a chair here.
It's the hot seat.
Okay. We should say your name because we are on camera.
Oh, my name is Jan Culver. Oh, am I
Yeah,
supposed to say?
sure, that works. And Mike will be asking you the first question,
We're
Jen.
gonna go down the line. It was hard for me not to make a joke. So, it's being recorded. Yeah, so the question I'll ask everybody is, who or what motivated you to come tonight for this position?
What motivated me? Well, because I've been on this board. The kids. The kids is what motivates me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You can be short and sweet.
Okay. And what do you see as the biggest challenge to public school today, and how would you address this as a board member?
Funding. And how would I address it as a board member? I would encourage Carrie to write more grants for us and like lobby with the legislators, try to get special education funded
Yes.
fully.
The wish list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Christy has a good
I have to
question.
read my question.
Okay.
How would you ensure that as a school board director in a small district, you remain independent from administrative or staff influence and personal relationships while making decisions that are in the best interest of the district? And what principles guide you, and would you hold yourself accountable, and how would you hold yourself accountable when those decisions are unpopular?
Well.
That's a good question.
Short and sweet, right?
Yeah, short and sweet. All the answers, for all the questions.
Sorry, I made it one question.
Thanks. Well, how would I do it? Let's see, I've done it. Because I have been a school board member. Let's see, I can't remember.
Basically, how would you remain impartial? Because I mean,
Oh, right, because
you
talked
know
to-
everybody. and-
Right, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I remain impartial because I have to. I mean, you have to. You can listen to this side and listen to this side, but then you come together as a group and make the decision. Whether people think it's right or wrong, it has to be made.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Stay
Diane?
short, my question.
Mine is much shorter.
Thank you.
Janet, what do you believe our school should be accomplishing?
Accomplishing? Like educating our kids graduating, getting a good education.
Okay, and again, is there anything else that you would like us to know, or anything else you'd like to tell us?
I don't think so. I mean, y'all know me, so I don't know if there's anything else to add.
Okay.
Thanks, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
She set some records in there. Come on in, Rose.
Really? I'm afraid to go after her. She nailed that one. Okay. Hello. Hey, congratulations on all your new positions.
Thank you.
Rose, can you state your name just because it's recorded and then, yes.
Rose Lauren Gear Robbins.
And Mike will ask the first question.
And we're asking everybody the same questions, and my question is a fairly generic one. What influenced you, or who influenced you to apply for the position?
Well,
What's your motivation?
My husband said it to me. He said, "You're home too often. Please find something to do." No, I have always been interested and passionate about education. Until recently, really haven't been in the position with
being in the military, we're working for other nonprofits to be able to give back in the educational field. Came to Concrete just recently, just hit our 1-year mark, yay us, we survived the flood, and have been paying attention to the school districts here in Washington since moving from Alaska. And Alaska's run very, very differently. And I just wanted to put the passion I have for the opportunities I was given that I was not expecting, and to put that passion into getting other people into college and having that joy of that education. And I'm financially amazing. Really, I'm great at Excels. I don't know how to add, but I can do an Excel program like no other.
Okay.
Very good, thank you.
And what do you see as the biggest challenge to public school today, and how would you address this as a board member?
Twofold. I think, obviously, funding is the biggest challenge, especially coming out of COVID, when there was an influx of funding. And so I don't want to say we got comfortable with that, but it changed things because we had to rethink our, the way that we were presenting. And then COVID goes away, thank goodness. But now things are changing, and the federal government gets back into things, and things are taken away. States have other priorities, things like that. Well, the challenge is how do we keep that high level performance that we had on a lower budget? It's like being a household, you know? The prices go up, the milk goes up, but I still gotta pay for gas to go halfway around the world to get to my job. So I think that's the biggest challenge right now. How do we give kids the amazing school experience they need with the reading, writing, arithmetic, and then still stay within budget with the logistics that we always forget about. The school buses, the fire alarms, OSHA, all that stuff that takes a lot of money. So that's my big thing.
Christie.
Oh, it needs its long.
Potentially. How would you ensure that as a school board director in a small district, you remain independent from administrative or staff influence and personal relationships while making decisions that are in the best interest of the district? And what principles guide you, and how would you hold yourself accountable when those decisions are unpopular?
Oh man, I feel like I should have brought some paper and pen and wrote all that down. Okay, so let's hope I hit all of your points on this one. First thing I can say is I spent 21 years in the military where you're not allowed to have an opinion, right? You can have an opinion at home, but you can't have it broadcasted to everything. So I don't think that anybody would ever find, especially since I still do work for the federal government, I'm gonna put that out there right now, just in case you guys do need to know that. My opinion stays my opinion. My job stays my job. How am I gonna stay impartial? Oh, that's easy. I don't have kids in the school district. My kids are all in college. So I can have that. The other thing is, as much as I want to pride myself on being the newest member of Concrete, I am the newest member, so I don't have those relationships built yet with the community, which allows me to kind of be an outsider. It allows me to sit back and watch and not have, oh, this happened 2 years ago where this is how we used to run the district. Allows me to see where you guys want to go now and what the challenges are now, and be able to make those hard decisions for the now and the future and not the past. I think I hit it all.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and Pam?
All right, what do you believe our school should be accomplishing?
What do I believe they should be accomplishing?
Yes.
As far as academically, I'm gonna spitball off of my personal on this one a little bit. Academically, I feel like the graduation rate needs to be a little bit higher, and that's a 2-ton-full thing. You could say that every year, and it's gonna be what it is, but I feel like that preparation for college or trade school, I feel like for a very long time that we've been focusing more on the 4-year university, which, do not get me wrong, I have my master's, I love it, I was gonna go for my PhD. Feel like that excitement for trade school needs to come back into it. I like your guys' passion for the sports, and I never understood why you guys were so passionate until I was just sitting outside and you were telling me that's what you guys have here. So I would like to invest a little bit into that passion along with the academics, those possibilities with, basketball. I don't know anything about sports, I'm not gonna lie, but I'll be here with pom-poms. But my biggest thing is art and music. I really would like to see that somehow. That's a hard one, financially, logistically, to put on the table when you're already financially in the troubles, but I don't know, I think everything is yes, okay. Did I hit it? I'm not sure. I almost feel like I need to ask you to repeat the question.
What do you believe our school should be accomplishing?
Yeah, all three of those. Arts, music, yeah, but first college. Let's get the academics there. All right.
Okay, and then is there anything else that we should know about you or?
I do. I feel like I really need to bring this up because I heard your lovely speech at the beginning, so that you all do know I do work for the Department of Homeland Security. I would like to put that out right now. I do know that that is a controversial subject. What I do with my federal career stays with my federal career. I'm logistics. I am not ICE. I would like to put that out right now. I am logistics and I'm finance. I have been in the federal government for over 25 years now. I don't think I'm good for anything else. I don't think I can get a job at McDonald's. I have to stay there until I retire. Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay. Well, it was lovely meeting you, but I am gonna grab my stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Look on the robotics thing.
Yeah.
Welcome to our community.
Thank you.
I'm here to give it.
Oh, yes. I was hoping I'd get a new one too.
I got halfway home, it's like, I got a new play. Oh,
Because I don't have my phone.
thank you.
Bye.
Do I get the interrogation?
Yes.
You're missing bright lights.
Please state your name just because you're being recorded.
Okay. Gabriel Asarian. I go by Gabe.
All right, and Mike will ask you the first question.
We can go 4 questions, each of us has chosen one. My first one is generic, sort of, what first motivated you, or who influenced you to apply for this, to sign up for this adventure?
I can't think of a specific person, but I went to public schools, my whole childhood, and I am a believer in public schools, and I want to see them thrive and be available to all students. I could give you a really long-winded thing, but I will just say I also have 2 kids. They're in 1st and 3rd grade, and they're in the concrete schools and have been. And I really want to give them the best education that they can get. And if there's anything I can do to improve the schools, or not just them, really the whole community.
Okay,
Thanks.
that kind of leads into my question. What do you see as the biggest challenge to public school today, and how would you address this as a board member?
Can I just clarify, you mean the concrete public school or public school in
Public
general?
school in general, I mean, yes,
general.
concrete, but public school in general.
Well, maybe it's partially the same. Funding. I
Common theme.
yes. There's not enough money, the schools are not allotted enough money to provide the quality of education and the services and the opportunities that I would like, and that I think public schools should provide. That's a big issue, and takes some big thinking and a lot of power to change, because I think that really needs to, it comes down to the legislature, and I think that needs to be, I would like to see that changed.
Okay. All right, Christy.
I'm reading my question, okay? How would you ensure that as a school board director in a small district, you remain independent from administrative and staff influence and personal relationships while making decisions that are in the best interest of the district? What principles guide you, and how would you hold yourself accountable when those decisions are unpopular?
I think I can, kind of maintain an objective perspective and bring that to a potential role as a director. Basically because I have a lot of experience in similar roles, or at least I worked for the National Park Service for like 28 years, and for most of that I was a supervisor. And a supervisor and even a leader to some degree, particularly in the second half of my career, say. And so dealing with, that was my job, was to deal with, or not even deal with, to work with different groups in order to meet goals and make forward progress. And to do all of that as a government employee. And so as an employee of the US government, it basically required that objectivity, I guess, that, there was kind of the government line, or the words that are coming to me, the things that I was allowed to say, not allowed to say, and I had to operate in that framework. So I did for many, many years. And I would say oftentimes that was uncomfortable and, particularly with dealing with conflicts. I was a law enforcement officer for, 24 of those years? And so there again, that was my job. People very, very rarely called me to say, hey, will you come here? I'd like to thank you for something. So-and-so did a great job. I count those on a hand or two. Every single call was conflict of people, and trying to work that out in fair ways that stayed true to rules, regulations, government policies. And quite frankly, I think I like to think I was somewhat effective. And by really trying to be a good person. I think, didn't you have something about like how would you
say impartial?
Yes,
sorry.
Principles.
The principles. That was the part I wanted to go to. Was my major in college was social psychology, and I took a series of classes from an amazing professor, and I really apply a lot of that from that point forward through my whole life. And there was for instance, a class called The Power of the Situation, and it was recognizing the situations that in the background that all people bring to their life and their experience and their, whatever's going on at the time. And really seeking to understand that before making judgment or labels or anything. Really trying to seek and understand where people are coming from before you proceed. And so I think that, is a tool that I've used a ton and found very helpful. And so I would say that is definitely a guiding principle. And, treating other people the way I'd like to be treated has always been very important to me. Treating people with respect, dignity, regardless of the situation. There was something else that stayed on my mind. It's always there.
And Pam?
All right, Gabe, what do you believe our school should be accomplishing?
I guess there are two. I would like to see our school provide quality education as well as enrichment opportunities for all of our students. And I kind of thought of two things that I think are important. Number one, communication, I think, can be helpful in so many scenarios and situations. And I had a friend that told me once, like, communicate. And when you can't communicate anymore, communicate a little more. That is something that I would like to look into and am willing to do. And I think communication on all levels. So that would be communication with parents. I guess I'd like to see communication between the schools and parents, communication within like school employees, with each other, and with their administrators. And then I think as the role of the school board, not only that we listen to all of those people, but that we communicate with our legislators too, to go back to that I understand there are some limitations on what we can and cannot do as the board member, and I need to learn what those are. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, I'll tell you, I know we need to learn, but I would really like somehow to make sure that our needs are being communicated to the legislature. Doing so in a, I was gonna say forceful, but by forceful I mean like unified way. So including other small districts, trying to multiply the power. So it's not just our little district asking them, but saying, no, these issues are affecting all small districts. And ideally, here's some solutions. We'd like to look at this. So I think communication is a big thing, and partnerships. I think it's worth looking into partnerships that all people and organizations bring strengths to the table, and I think it's wise to listen to what those are, and if there's any way that we can leverage those and for our benefit, our district's benefit. All aboard.
Thank you. Okay, and lastly, is there anything else that you would like us to know about you?
Do you mind if I just look over my notes real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to see if I covered some things that I had. Yeah, I guess maybe this is where I was gonna go when you asked your first question. But I guess just a little bit of context of where I come from, and I guess maybe how I see the world or how I see our community. I see community as really interrelated. The components of community. And so I think education, employment, housing, security, food security, I think all of these issues are so interrelated. And I feel like the area served by the Concrete School District has some significant challenges. I think schools can't succeed when students are hungry. Caregivers can't feed their kids without stable employment. Employment can't be had without affordable housing. Employers can't hire good employees without good education. And I really think that the public schools are kind of the foundation on which to start improving those things. There are things we have control over, things that we don't have control over, but I'm willing to put my blood, sweat, and tears into education, because I feel that that can start that kind of upward spiral. If we can provide good education, they can get good jobs, they can buy houses, you know, it just, I feel like that's where we can start over as well. So I want to do everything I can to help.
Okay. Mike, do you want to make a motion just to discuss our future meetings?
I have to call anybody in the hall.
Oh, good point.
Thank you, Gabe. If you want to sit in the audience there.
You can stay here, right?
Or yeah,
no,
It's all right, it was fun and all, but.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
I would move that we talk about the calendars now, so that then we can have a executive session that we don't require everybody to stand around for,
Okay.
because we won't make any decisions.
Okay. All in favor that we move the future meetings agenda item to number 15 as opposed to 16? Okay.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? All right, so future meetings. Our next, there is a special board workshop training session on Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 from 5 to 7:30 p.m. here in this room. And then our next regular work session will be held Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 at 6 p.m. And the next regular board meeting will be held at 6 p.m. on Thursday, February 26th, 2026, also in this room.
And I should mention that, again, the 4 community forums next week, where there will never be more than 2 board members, but they are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. And so Pam and Christy are coming to Mondays.
Tuesday and Thursday.
You're coming to Tuesday and Thursday, Mike?
Yes.
And
And
then
I'm
Laura's
coming
coming
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
I can probably do another one as well, but I need to see what the basketball schedule comes out with.
I know, I'm waiting too. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm going to do community forums regardless of what that's.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
So Monday I'll dedicate to, but
Okay.
after that I need to see what the
Yeah.
schedule is.
Okay.
What's the timeline for the people, these great people that have?
Yeah, so the February board meeting will, somebody would make a motion
We will
to
appoint.
nominate or appoint one of the 4 applicants, and then there'd be a vote. So hopefully all 4 applicants come to the February board meeting to know if you're being offered the job.
And then are we going to swear them in
And then you'd be-
immediately after?
Yeah, then you'd be sworn in and,
Take a seat.
why are we missing this?
I don't know.
Well, there wasn't
Oh,
a table
well,
either.
there's usually, because we usually are slid down and then there's the student seat.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Anyway, immediately take a seat in February.
Okay, so now we will adjourn to executive session number 2, where we will discuss appointment, and then executive session number 3, discussing Carrie's superintendent evaluation.
So the
With no
executive session.
business to follow.
And so executive session 2, you would say this will take so many minutes.
Right.
We come out of it, go back into executive session.
Okay,
But
so executive session 2 will probably take 10 minutes, and then, yes.
So, but no business to follow any
No
of them,
business
so
to
you're
follow
all
any,
welcome
yes.
to go, because otherwise you're just sitting there, we're never letting you back in. I know them, I could just. She's like,
How long is the third one going to
so
be?
she's saying this one will be 10, we'll, when we come back, when we come out of executive session